This is So You Think You Know Jesus, a podcast that will challenge Christian paradigms, uproot traditions of man, and in the end, energize your faith by grounding you in solid biblical truths as you learn to see Scripture through the eyes of the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua. Welcome, author and speaker Rabbi Jeff Grillo of the Rock of Israel Congregation in North Carolina, a Messianic synagogue that is part of the National Jewish Fellowship of the Assemblies of God. Now, Rabbi Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Welcome once again to So You Think You Know Jesus, a podcast that is a ministry outreach of the Rock of Israel Congregation in Hickory, North Carolina, where I am blessed as can be to serve as the rabbi of the most amazing folks in the universe, bar none, if you are ever in the area. We invite you to stop by our Shabbat morning services at 10:30 a.m. If you can't, the next best thing you can do is catch us live at myroic.org. That's myroic.org. And you can catch not only services live at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern whatever time, whatever we're on now, but we have them archived there as well. We put them on YouTube. They stream onto Facebook. Facebook only keeps them, I think, 30 days now. But at any rate, we invite you to join us any way you can. So we started a thing. We are now on day 2. This is day 2 of creation, and we're looking at how the days of creation in Genesis chapter 1, verses generally 1 through 26 or so, line up with each of the Torah portions that we are told were inspired by Ezra and divinely inspired. And when you see how they all line up with not only the days of creation with the Torah portions, but with the midot, the attributes of God that we look at and we count during Pesach. Well, not during Pesach. What am I saying? During the weeks between Pesach and Shavuot. Let me get that straight. I'm all excited. Some crazy good stuff just happened, and I'm a little scatterbrained for joy. So, pardon me. So for 7 weeks, those 49 days, we're counting the attributes of God, and each week there's a new attribute that we focus on. Last week, we looked at Chesed for day 1, which is loving kindness, and today, day 2, lines up with Gevurah, and we will talk about what that means here in a second. So what in the world happened on day 2? You can go and read it again, Genesis chapter 1, but on day 2, I will give you the Reader's Digest Mr. Magoo version, as this blind man recalls it. But on day 2, essentially, God separated the waters from the waters above from the waters below, and the expanse between the two he called sky. Evening and the morning, the second day. So interestingly enough, this is one of 2 things that God created that he didn't say was good. All the other days, he says, at evening and the morning, and the Lord saw that it was good, and whatever it was that he did on that particular day, he saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning, the first day, and the third day, and the fourth day, and so on. But not so for the second day, and there's reasons for that we discussed in an earlier podcast that the title is escaping me, but it had to do with the image of God, making man in his image. So hopefully there's one on there. If not, I'll look it up and put a title and or a link in the description of this podcast. But so what happened? God's separating things, the waters from the waters. And the Torah portion that is for week 2 is Noach, which is the Hebrew word for Noah. And of course, If you've been a believer for more than 5 minutes, you know the story of Noah, that all of the earth had become exceedingly wicked, and the thoughts in their hearts of men were for evil only all the time. And God had regretted that he had made man, and he vowed to destroy the earth. And he did, except for the occupants of the ark that he instructed Noah to make, along with the animals and what he commanded him to place therein. So let's look at things from the perspective of waters. Day 2, God's separating the waters from above from the waters from below. And in the second week of the parasha, it's kind of like in the opposite, because what happens? It had not rained on the earth, right? And all of a sudden, now the waters of the deep erupt. And the flood comes up from the belly of the earth at the same time that the heavens open up, and a deluge of rain just floods down from the sky. So these waters that once were separated at creation, now God is bringing them together in a cataclysmic event, where the waters just come crashing back together, resulting in all of the world, all of the earth, being covered. And I forget how many cubits above the highest mountain. I'm failing that trivia question, but everything was submerged, and that demonstrates the second of the attributes of God, Gevurah, is might and strength. And if you think about the awesome power of the Almighty and sovereign God that could do such a thing, creating the world, creating everything in it, separating the waters above from below, and then saving them for this day of judgment that God pours out his wrath on all mankind, again, except for those that he found, who found favor in his eyes, and he saved in the ark, and he just wiped out humanity. And over a course of 40 days, the waters ultimately recede, and just life multiplies and springs forth once again, proving again this ultimate strength, the gevurah of the Lord. Now listen, these are going to be shorter messages here. These 7 days, 6 days of creation and the seventh day of rest. We're going to look at all of them week by week. And I'm doing it intentionally this way. We probably could have piled them all into one or even two podcasts. I think they would have been a little on the long side. And I just really wanted to do it this way so you can ponder over the next week the depth of what's happening here. So by the end, in 5 more weeks, you'll be able to look back at all that you've learned and all of these, coincidences, right? No, wrong. All of these divinely inspired, amazing things that probably just escaped your notice your entire life as a believer. They did me, and I, had a bachelor's in pastoral ministries. I served in the church world in varying capacities. I had no idea until these last 13, 14 years as a Messianic rabbi, first as the associate rabbi and now as the senior rabbi, that I had no idea these were even things. But I want to share them with you. And again, to reiterate, in case this is the first one you're happening upon, what does this have to do with Jesus? Well, I'll remind you and point you back to John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, right? And we know that that Word became flesh and dwelt amongst men. Yeshua is the Word. This is His Word. He wants us to know it. He wants us to see it. He wants us to experience the depths, the boundless depths of knowledge and treasure that is waiting for you to discover, not so you could become proud, not so you could have an air of superiority about you, but so that you understand how amazing your God is. And it causes you to love Him more and draw closer to Him than ever before. And listen, I just want to make sure I invite you once again, if you haven't already, like this podcast, share it with a friend, share it on your Facebook, and help us to reach everyone. Shalom, shalom.
Thanks for learning with us today. For more information and resources, or to invite Rabbi Jeff to speak at your church or next event, call 1-828-201-2883. Once again, that's 1-828-201-2883. Or visit myroic.org. That's myroic.org. Shalom.